Hello everyone, welcome with the quick and easy tech, and we're going to talk about the SQL Server Integration Services, SSIS, and then we're going to have a part 3, how to get the SQL query statement from the Excel file and execute the queries in SSIS package. So let's say I have one Excel file and contain multiple queries. I have insert query, and I have update, and I have delete, and I have another insert. So I have two inserts here. I want to insert two new records, and then I want to update existing record, and then I want to delete existing record. And so I need to execute these queries from the Excel file using SSIS package, Visual Studio, and then I want to execute them and load them and apply them in a SQL Server table. Let's say I have a table, select all from DBO customers. Here I have a table called customers, first name, ID, first name, last name, and state. They have 4 columns, and let's say I'm going to insert these two new record inside. Let's just insert them, SQL Server table. So paste it. So I have a DBO customers here. I'm just going to insert those queries here, and then select them. Selected. Okay, so I have two records now. 9,000 start with ID 9,000 and 8,000. So if you go back here, and now if you go back to Excel. So I want to insert another record with ID start with 1,000, and then insert another record 7,000, and then the ID has 9,000 ID. I want to update. I want to update the state. This is the state. The one has an ID 9,000. I want to update from New York to Florida, and then I want to delete the entire rows. The one I did with 8,000, I want to delete the entire row here. I want to delete this one here. And how can I do that? I need to, so I'm going to extract the queries from Excel file, and then using SSIS package, and then apply it to SQL Server table. And then I'm going to talk about also the transaction, and okay, let me add, and also for the security, I want to show you how we're going to do the transaction. So I'm going to execute the queries from the Excel file and execute them, then queries and the while, and then let's say and then explain transaction, and then let's say the commit, rollback, and data integrity. I'm just gonna update this the template. Let's just gonna go insert here. I'm just gonna copy it. I'm gonna have a new text box here. So let's just gonna cut it, insert a new text box here, and then roll back, and then I'm gonna use the, I'm gonna show you how you do the data integrity. So hold on a second. Maximize it. Alright. Alright, so I'm going to show you, just in case, why I'm going to use the transaction commit and rollback for the data integrity, because in case if you have a wrong syntax here, or you have like instead of having a semicolon, if you have like a colon or some, like any wrong syntax or anything or letter, And then what's going to happen if you so the first queries will be inserted, the second queries, this first query will be executed, the second query will be executed. You're going to have a problem with the third query, so the package will be stopped at the third query, and so on. But I don't want that things to happen. If any problem happened in any one of this statements, I want to fill the whole queries, the entire query. That's why I'm going to use the transaction. So so back again to SQL Server table. So first what we're going to do, we have to pull so let's go back to Visual Studio, and then we're going to create a new package. You can just name it, just give it a name, proper name here. I'm going to call it, this is going to be the part, this is going to be the uploaded part 3. This is going to be part 3, load queries from Excel. Alright, so now close those down here. Alright, so now I need to get the queries from the Excel file first. So I'm gonna do that. This is we have only one columns here. We have only one column called queries, and then I want to save them. I'm not loading, so I'm not interested in let's say I'm not interested to data flow task. I'm not interested to since I'm gonna use the data flow task, I'm not interested in like a Excel source or the Excel source here. So Excel source or Excel or only DB destination, because I'm not loading the data, I'm executing the queries. So what I'm gonna do here, back again. So I dragged and dropped the data flow task, and then I want to save the queries, the SQL the queries inside the Excel file, inside some kind of like a record set. So I'm gonna do that. Since we drop the data flow task, double click on it. Let's say we're gonna navigate to the Excel file, and then after that, I'm not gonna drag and drop the destination. I want to save the queries. So I'm gonna save the queries where? I'm gonna save the queries to the record set here. We're gonna have something called a record set transformation. There we go, record set destination. So I just connect it, and then double click on Excel source. We have to navigate. We're gonna browse to we don't have a connection. We're gonna create a new connection. Then we're gonna browse to the proper file. Browse here, and then I saved it inside. This is my path here. Just copy my path. Visual Studio, and then just gonna paste the path here. We're gonna navigate to the file, to the Excel file. That's my file here. I have one file. First row has a column names. Yes, it doesn't matter even if you have like a pre-formatted. This is like a formatted column name is okay. We have this is gonna be, so that's the column name it's in the first row. So back to Visual Studio, click OK, and then we have only one sheet. We do not have multiple sheets. We have only one sheet, sheet 1. Preview it. You cannot. This is how it look like. So okay, that's the queries. Is the column name, and that's the rows. 4 rows here. Columns. Everything is good here. Click OK. Now I want to save it inside the record set. But in this time, every time, like you want to, okay, when you want to save inside the record set, what do you want to save? You want to have, do you want to save the ID integer, or you want to have the string, which is first name, last name, and a state? Like if you want to do the row count, you're gonna use the integer. We're not using integer here. We have multiple. We have ID, first name, last name, and a state. We have multiple data types. So we are going to use. We're gonna create a variable. We're gonna call it right click on the white pen, click variables, and then we're gonna create a new variable. We're gonna call it queries. Sorry. We're gonna call it Excel queries object. We're gonna save it, so the data type will be object here. So this is object here, and then we're gonna save the queries inside the variable. That's the custom properties variable name. Choose the variable that we just created, and then see that the input column, click on the input columns tab here, and then we're just gonna select the queries. We have only one column, we don't have multiple columns here. We have only one column called queries only. So back to Visual Studio, and then just select the queries and just refresh it. Click OK. So we're all done now. So now we have the queries updated insert is going to be saved in a record set. And then since we have one file and we have multiple queries, we need to loop through all these queries: the first query, the second query, third, and the fourth. So how we're gonna loop through all of them? So back to Visual Studio, and then we're gonna drag and drop for each loop container. We're not gonna use the for loop container because we don't know how many times we're gonna use for each loop container. This is gonna help us loop through all the files connected. And then double click to configure the for each loop container. On collection, I'm not using the for each file enumerator because I have an object variable. So I need to extract the object from their flow task and then load it to the for each loop. Back to collection, we're gonna use for each ADO enumerator. This is gonna help us. We're gonna select the Excel queries object. We are extracting the object here, and then we're gonna save the object inside a variable, and the data type will be string. Go back to, so we click on variable mappings here, and then we're gonna create a new variable. We're gonna call it this time, let's say Excel queries, but this is gonna be variable. This is going to be variable, and then the data type will be string. Click OK, click OK. We're all done now. Now, then what's next? So the next, now we need to execute the query. So we know we saved the queries in a record set, and we use it for each loop. We're going to extract the object, and then after we extract the object, we save the object in a variable. This is gonna loop through all the 4 rows here. You got 4 rows here. So this is gonna for each loop is gonna loop through the first one, the second one, the third one, and the fourth one. And then we need to execute them. We need to have some kind of a transformation to execute the queries. How we're going to execute them? We're going to drag and drop, execute SQL task, drag and drop inside, drag it and drop it, and then double click on it. Here on the connection tab, we are going to use, since we have a SQL Server table, so we're going to use only DB destination. So I'm going to use the only, you can use ODBC, but I'm going to use or ADO. Use all DB destination. And then for the connection, I'm gonna navigate to the SS. This is so my table customer saved in database, and my database is gonna be SSIS test database. So I need to navigate to that database. So I'm gonna select, and then a new connection. I already have my database. Let me delete it. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna create a new one. And then you need to get the server name. Go back to SQL Server, and then click on Connect Database Engine. Copy it, or you can just select it. Select. We're gonna select the server name. Execute. So copy it and then back to Visual Studio to SSIS, and then copy the paste the server name, and then we're gonna navigate to the database. We're gonna go into navigate. We have a database called SSIS test. Select the SSIS test and then test connection succeeded. Click OK. Click OK. Now for the SQL source tab, what do you want to do here? You want to type select statement here. What do you want to do? You want to insert, you want to select, or what do you want to do? We're not typing no SQL statement here because we need to query. So the statement is gonna come from the Excel file already. So we just need to execute them. So back to SSIS, and then we're gonna change the SQL source type. We're gonna select the variable that comes from the variable, and we save the variable not in the object. We save the variable, not the one come from the object, the data type. The data type, the one with the string Excel queries variable, the one comes from the for each loop container, the one we just saved it. So double click here, we select it, so we should good to go now. Click OK. But before I do that, let's say I have, since I have those two records here, I have two records. What about if you have a problem? For example, if you have what about if you have like 100 or thousands of millions of queries here, and one of them failed, and then you don't know which one's failed, and you have like multiple queries has been failed or some problem with it, and the other queries got inserted or updated or deleted. So in order to avoid that problem, that's what we are using a transaction. Like if you wanna, like for example, if you're doing like a insert, let's say gonna do insert statement here, right? Let's say like let's just gonna copy it. Let's copy those here. Sorry, let's say I'm gonna copy those insert here. No, let's just gonna copy not the insert. Yes, copy the insert. We're going to do some kind of experiment here. So let's say you want to update the 9000 here, and then here back, and then the third one, and the fourth one here. Alright, sorry, remove this K. I don't know where this comes from. So saved it here. Okay, if you're gonna do this right now, let's see what's gonna happen. So okay, let's just run the queries for now. Let's just gonna run the query for now. Run the query. We're gonna run the query and see what happens. Since we don't have no problem and everything will be fine, let's execute the package. Click execute the package. So the package has been successfully executed. Back to SQL Server table, we're supposed to so the state's supposed to update in New York. We're supposed to delete the 8000 and supposed to have a new record now. See that we're supposed to have this. Now 8000 is supposed to be deleted, and then we're gonna update the state. So select, you see that the state has been updated from New York to Florida, and then the 8000 has been deleted, the one with the ID, and then this is the 1000 and 7000. This is those two new records here. So let's say what about if you have some wrong in the syntax here? Let's just create some problem here. Let's say what happened here. So let's say in a state, like for example, this is supposed to be integer, because if you go to the data type, if you select my table customers here, So I have a customer columns that's integer. See, that's integer, that's numeric, not string. You cannot have a letter inside the integer, that's numeric. Let's say you have, for example, you have something like W here, and then let's see what's gonna happen now. Save it, close it, and then we're gonna truncate the table. Truncate the table, a customer's DBO here, truncate it. Now it's empty. Now we need to select, we need to insert those just for the experiment. Back again. Look what's gonna happen now. Let's execute the query. You see that? Let's go back and see what happened here. Let's go back and see what happened here, and go back to SQL Server table as selected. See, look what happened here. We execute the query, we inserted, so the first queries got through. We inserted the new record, and then for the second record has been updated, and the third record has been deleted. But we have a problem. So the fourth record did not insert it inside. We missing the, because we have letter within the ID. And what about if you have 1,000 of them? You want to know which one got updated, which one is not, which one. So in order to, like for example, let's say I have those records here. Let's say I'm going to use the transaction here. I'm going to use the transaction. I'm going to use a transaction. Let's say I'm going to use a transaction. So we're going to begin try, and then we're gonna have begin transaction. We're gonna call it, like, the T1. This is just the name of the transaction, right? So we have T1 here, and then down here we have a T1, and then what we're gonna do here, so we have insert, update, delete, and we're gonna do the commit T1. This is gonna be the name of the table, and then we're gonna end it and try. This is gonna be this section. If this queries has been successfully queried and executed, we have no problem here. We're gonna end it. We're gonna commit. Everything will be good. Everything will be updated, deleted, everything. What about if we have a problem here? I want to roll back, like undo. You know when you have undo here. I want to roll back everything back to normal, back to the normal. I don't want to update not either one of them, one of them. I want to roll back again. I don't want to. One problem here. I want to stop the whole queries here. So we're gonna go else. If not, we're gonna have it's gonna be the else. It's gonna be the begin. We're gonna have another begin catch mean else. We're gonna roll it back catch, and then it's gonna be we need to roll back the T1 table we just created. Sorry, roll back transaction, and it's gonna be T1, and also we're gonna end it catch. So now, since we don't have a problem, so let's go back again and check out the table. All right, we're gonna insert those two here. That's inserted. Select the table again. Let's go back and run this transaction and see what happened. Since we don't have a problem here, so everything should be fine. Executed. Where's the T1? Why? Okay, so the T1. Okay, so I need to have the try in here before the commit. So let's just gonna zoom out. This will be better. If we run this transaction, everything's supposed to be fine now. See that? One row affected, and everything should be fine now. If you select the table now. Just expand it. So see that everything should be fine here. Let's go back and create some errors here. Let's gonna truncate the table. We're gonna insert two rows here. Select the table again. Let's say see that's the new record, New York and 8,000. Everything's good. Let's say I have some mistakes here. Let's say I have a letter here. Let's see what happened here. If you're gonna run the transaction, if you have one problem here, supposed to roll back, and this is gonna be the whole transaction will be failed here. Nothing will be inserted, nothing will be deleted. Executed. Syntax. Okay, I know that because of the ID. So let's just create another. Let's gonna change the key. So let's just remove the key. Let's just add since I have integer. So let's just add let's say like a phone number 7,000, some numbers here, some problem here, anything. Let's just run the transaction, execute the transaction, and see what happened. So now if you select the table, as we said, that's the new table, that's the new records here, nothing changed. Let's run the transaction. One row affected, the second row affected, the third row affected, the fourth row not affected, zero affected. So this is okay. This is run through, but it's not okay. So this one is okay, affected. This is affected. This is not. This is a zero row affected. But what happened? Roll back. Even if those is okay, but roll back, nothing be changed. Because remember, we are using a transaction, we are executing and we are saving the queries inside the cache mode before even go to the table and insert the things to the table. See that the first row affected, second row affected, and the third, this is zero row affected. So we're supposed to roll back now. Roll back. So let's select the table and look. You see that nothing changed. The state is the same. Supposed to change the state, and we're supposed to insert a new record, and we're supposed to delete 8,000, but nothing happened. That's a transaction. RollBack and commit. We have the same way in SSIS here. We can do the same way here, but we're not going to type none of this script here. So how we're gonna do that? Let's go back and correct the table. So let's just go back here to SSIS, and then how we're gonna do that? In this white pane, right click and select properties, and then you scroll down, you go to transaction option. It says supported. What does mean supported? Required and not supported. Let's say this is the package level, right? You have a package level, and then you have so you have a package level. This is component level, and they got 3 levels, and you have a package level. Let's say, for example, properties here. Let's say the package level here. Let's go back again. So now when you have the transaction option, it's required. Let's say required, and this level. Let's right click on. Let's stop the package. Back here, down. Okay, so required, and then for example, this component, the Airflow task, it's supported, and the for each loop supported. So what's gonna happen? So anything, if this got failed, if any component got failed, will join the package, because we set the package level on required. Anything within or inside this package will, if anything got failed here, the whole package will be failed. The whole things here got failed now. For example, I don't want this to get failed, even if this failed, if this one, but I want to execute this one. Exclude it from the package, even if the package level, for example, I have like a multiple components here, a lot of components here, and then I want everything to get failed, but except this section. So this section, what we're gonna do? Right click for a data flow task, and then you go down and you choose not supported. Not supported mean even if the package level is required, all those supported will join the package level required. But for the data flow task, not supported, we're not gonna join them. That's the difference. So you got supported, you got required, which is gonna be the family. This is gonna be the package level, it's required, and then this component, this for each loop is supported. So this is gonna be the son. The son is gonna join the family. That's the family is required. But this one, that's why it's supported. It even is gonna join it. It doesn't have to create a new transaction, because we have a transaction is going to start here, and the supported will join the required transaction. This is not going to join. This is even if you connect it to the support, this is not going to join the supported, and it's not going to join the required. If you right click here, and then you scroll down here, and then supported. So let's say, okay, let's say this one here, like let's say the package level here. Okay, so we're all done. We just explained it. So let's say the package level it's not required, it's just supported, and the for each loop only is required. Now we're gonna do the opposite. So the package level will be supported, but the for each loop only, the for each loop is required. What's gonna happen in this time? Since we have the package level and anything inside the package level, we're not gonna join. We're not gonna. So we have support. So we're gonna have the opposite. So this is supported. This is required. We're gonna execute only this one here. This is gonna be start a transaction, but nothing will join it. Anything will join it if it's gonna go inside. But like this component, this one, and this is, we're not gonna join it. We're not gonna join it. So just go back again here, properties, and then let's say this is supported. Let's make sure everything's good here. So supported. Okay, we're just gonna delete those. So we're gonna the same way. So let's right click on the package level. We're gonna set the package level. Okay, we're just gonna leave it. Let's just leave it for now. Let's leave it. We're gonna do some test here. Check the table. Selected. Insert 2 rows now. Let's just insert 2 rows. Let's set those 2 rows here. So now select it again, and then correct the table. So let's say we don't have issue. Everything's supposed to be fine here. Remove the W here, save it, and then run the package. And now the package is supposed to run smoothly. So the package has been executed. Back to SQL Server, and then select executed. See that? So this is updated with 2 inserted rows and 1 8000 has been deleted. Let's just truncate the table, and then insert execute those 2 inserts. Selected, and then back to SSIS, and then let's go to the table. Let's gonna add 1 W here. See that? Let's just gonna have 1 W. Another let's just gonna W. So what happened now? If you go back, remember this package still is supported, not required. Execute the package. The package failed, but failed not the entire queries. If you go back to SQL Server, see that the state has been updated and the 8000 has been deleted. So the new rows, the new row with 1000 has been inserted, and the state has been deleted to Florida, and then 8000 has been deleted, and then the field on the 4th one. I don't want to do that. I want to fill the whole package now. Go back again. and then execute the queries. We selected, let's go back to SSIS, and now stop the package. And now properties on the whiteboard, we're going to set the package level on required. This is going to be required here, right? But we're going to have a problem now. I'm going to show you what is the problem. So when you set the package level on required, this make sure it's supported. It's supported. This one is supported. Okay. If you're trying to execute the package, look what happened now. What's going to happen? See that package execution completed. There is a design mode. Okay, let's go to progress, and then look. It says runtime has failed to start the distributed transaction. The transaction manager is not available. You don't have a MCDTC, which is Microsoft Distributed Transaction Center. So now, if you have SQL Server, you need to have the distributed coordinator. How we're gonna get that? We're gonna activate the MS DTC. You go to Google, and then you go to Microsoft. You need to download your proper Microsoft Distributed Transaction Coordinator. And if you have it and you don't know if it's activated or not, what you're gonna do? You go to the search bar, and then you're gonna type the component services, and then just expand it, and then you're gonna expand the component services, expand the computers, expand the my computer, and then you know what it says, distributed transaction coordinator, and then expand it again, and then you got local DTC. Right click on local DTC and set click on properties, and then select the security tab, and then you're gonna check the network DTC access, allow remote client, and then allow inbound and allow the outbound, and then you're gonna click on no authentication required, apply, and then this is gonna restart, has been started. And for example, you have this is already set, so this section is already set, but the distributed has not started yet. What are you gonna do? Go back again to make sure it started. You go to services, and then you're gonna distributed. You see that you scroll down to distributed transaction coordinator. It's running. So this is running. If it stopped, you need to run it. So you need to start it. So now mine is running now, and then back to SSIS, and then it's gonna stop the package, run. So make sure. So this is required. Run the package. Let's see what happened now. Go back again. One of them it's filled. Let's go back and then see that. It's identify the problem now. The inserted, update, delete, but look what happened now. Executed. We have a problem in the fourth row. But let's go back to the table and look if anything has been changed to the table. Change it. No, nothing has been changed to the table. You remember we insert. That's the new. That's my existing records here. 9,000 New York, 8,000. So it did not insert the new record, and it did not change the state from New York to Florida, and then did not delete the 8,000, and also did not, this because of this problem, did not even insert this one because we have a problem, we have issue in the fourth. This is very important, guys. This is very important. The transaction is very important, especially when you have queries. And the same way, if you have a multiple of SQL query tables, if you have a lot of tables, special SQL tables here, if you have a lot of tables, it's not only queries that saved inside the Excel, but also in SQL table. See that the extension, that's the table. the script here. Script has been saved in SQL. If you run it, just make sure to set the package level on supported. Nothing will be changed or answered or updated if you set this on. It's required here, especially for the queries. So thank you very much, guys, and have a nice day.